Hello guys, my name is Craig and welcome to Peri Solutions. If you're new to my channel, please make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new videos. Today we're going to talk about how we solve simultaneous equations. So to start off, what are simultaneous equations? Simultaneous equations are two different equations given that relate to unknowns, and our task would be to solve for the values of those two unknowns. So there are two methods that I'm going to talk about that we use when solving simultaneous equations. There is the substitution method and then there is the elimination method. So now for number one, we would like to use the substitution method, number one and number two. And then number 3 and 4, we use the elimination method. So for that number one, we've got 3x minus 2y being equal to 0. And then 2x plus y being equal to 7. So now the question is, where do we apply the substitution method? So the substitution method works when one equation from both equations is a unit quantity of an unknown. So now for these two equations, if we have to label this equation 1, then this will be equation 2. We see that for equation 2, we've got 1y. So we've got one quantity, we've got 1y. So now the next step would be to make that unknown the subject of the formula. So now from equation 2, we make y subject of the formula by taking 2x to the right hand side. So y would be equal to 7 minus 2x. Then we label this equation 3. Next step after this would be to substitute equation 3 into equation 1. So substitute equation 3 into equation 1. What does this mean? This means that from equation 1, in place of y, we're now putting 7 minus 2x. So we've got 3x minus 2, y being 7 minus 2x is equal to 0. Now we can solve for x. So removing the brackets, 3x minus 2 times 7, we get minus 14. And then minus 2 times minus 2x, we get a plus 4x. Being equal to 0. And then now grouping like terms, we've got 3x plus 4x, which will give us a 7x. Then we know we can take minus 14 to the right hand side. Then the sign will change to a positive. And now solving for x, we divide both sides by 7, such that x would be equal to 2. So now to find the value of y, we shall use equation 3, whereby y is equal to 7 minus 2x, x being 2, so in place of x we're now putting 2. This will be 7 minus 4, which will give us a 3. So the value of y would be 3 when the value of x is equal to 2. So this is how we apply the substitution method. So now I would like to also do number 2 using the substitution method. Allow me to erase this part. Okay, so now number 2 says that 3m minus n is equal to 5, and then 2m plus 5n is equal to 7. So now we said we look for an equation that is one quantity of the unknown. And as you can see from these two equations, this being equation 1, and then this being equation 2, we see that equation 1 is 1n. So we make this n subject of the formula. So this is minus n. So if we take minus n to the right hand side, and then we take 5 to the left hand side, we've got 3m minus 5 being equal to n. The sign changes as we switch the sides. So now this is equation 3. The next step would be to substitute this equation 3 into equation 2. So sub equation 3 into equation 2. What does this mean? This implies that from equation 2, in place of n, we are now putting 3m minus 5. So we've got 2m plus 5n, n being equal to 3m minus 5. This is equal to 7. And you know that from this, we can easily solve for m. So we're now saying 2m plus 5 times 3m, we get 15m. Then plus 5 times minus 5, we get minus 25. Minus 25, this being equal to 7. So grouping like terms, we definitely have to take minus 25 to the right hand side. Then the sign will change to a positive. Then now we've got 2m plus 15m, which gives us 17m. And then 25 plus 7 on the right hand side will give us a 32. So dividing both sides by 17, m would be equal to 32 over 17. So now next task, we have to solve for n. Solving for n, in place of m, we are now putting 32 over 17. Such that we've got n being equal to 3 times 32 over 17 minus 5, which is 96 over 17 minus 5, which will give us 11 over 17. So this would be the value of n when m is a value of 32 over 17. So this is also how we apply the substitution method for number 2. Now I would like to look at how we apply the elimination method when solving simultaneous equations. Allow me to erase this. So this is now the elimination method, right? Elimination method. Yes, elimination method. So basically, the elimination method would work when the substitution method is not suitable, right? So let's take number 3 then. So for number 3, we've got 2x plus 3y is equal to 5, and then 5x minus 2y is equal to minus 16. So now the way we apply the elimination method is that we choose an unknown from both equations. We just choose one common unknown, be it x or y. Then the next step would be to multiply by a factor or by factors, such that this one unknown that we have chosen from both equations is the same coefficient from both equations. So it has to have the same coefficient. So now from these two equations, this being equation 1 and then this being equation 2, right? If we pick an unknown, let's say we pick x, right? Now we need to make x have the same coefficient from both equation 1 and equation 2. So it means that from equation 1, we are multiplying 2 out by 5. Right? And then from equation 2, we are multiplying 2 out by 2. Such that x is the same coefficient. So 5 times 2x, that will give us 10x. And then plus 5 times 3y, 15y. That being equal to 5 times 5, 25. So this is now equation 3. And then now from equation 2, 2 times 5x, that's 10x, minus 2 times 2y, that's 4y. That being equal to 2 times minus 16 to give us minus 32. So this is now equation 4. So now next step would be to eliminate this, this unknown. So we know we've got 10x and 10x. But how can we eliminate that? We eliminate that by subtracting. So we're now subtracting equation 3 minus equation 4. So if we say 10x minus 10x, we get a 0. And then 15y minus 4y. So it's now 15y minus 4y to give us 25 minus 32. This will be now, minus and minus will give us a plus. So 15y plus 4y to give us 19y would be equal to 25 minus plus again. 25 plus 32 to give us 57. And then dividing both sides by 19, y would be equal to 3. So now solving for x, we now use either of these, either equation 1 or equation 2. Then in place of y, we're now simply putting what? We're now putting 3. So if you pick equation 1, we are now saying 2x plus 3y being equal to 3 is equal to 5. And then this, we take it to the right hand side, such that we've got 2x is equal to 5 minus 3 times 3, that gives us a 9. So 2x is equal to minus 4. And then solving for x will be equal to minus 2. So x is a value of minus 2 when y is a value of 3. So those will be the values of our two unknowns. So now let's attempt number 4 as well, using the elimination method. Allow me to erase this. Okay, so now number 4, we've got we have 2x plus 5y being equal to 24 is equation 1, and then we've got 4x plus 3y being equal to 20 is our equation 2. So now we want to use the elimination method. So now let's pick a different variable. Let's pick y. So now if you pick the variable y, we have to multiply both equations by factors such that y is the same coefficient in both equations. So it means that here we can multiply equation 1 throughout by 3, right? Such that y would be 15y, and then now we can multiply equation 2 throughout by 5. Such that we've got 15y in equation 1, then 15y in equation 2. So now multiplying throughout for equation 1, we've got 3 times 2x to give us 6x, then plus 3 times 5y to give us 15y, being equal to 3 times 24 to give us 72. So this is now equation 3. And then 5 times 4x will give us 20x, then 5 times 3y will give us 15y, 5 times 20 will give us 100. So this is now equation 4. Then now we said we have to eliminate this unknown, and we can do that by subtracting equation 3 minus equation 4. So if we say 6x minus 20x, we get minus 14x. 15y minus 15y, we get a 0, and then this will be equal to 72 minus 100, we get minus 28. And now solving for x, we're dividing both sides by minus 14, so that x will be equal to 2. Minus and minus cancel. 14 into 28 will give us a 2. And then now we have to solve for y. Solving for y, we pick either equation 1 or equation 2. Let's pick equation 2 in this circumstance. So we're saying 4x, x being 2, plus 3y is equal to 20. Then 4 times 2, that gives us an 8. But we have to take this 8 to the right hand side, such that we've got 3y being equal to 20 minus 8. And 3y would be equal to 12. Then dividing both sides by 3 to solve for y would be equal to 4. So y is equal to 4 when x is a value of 2. So now this is how we apply the elimination method. Please feel free to leave a comment, drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.